Hello, Star Wars fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Starlight Podcast. We've got a star-studded cast. We are in separate locations this week. You won't see the duo of me and Johnny and sitting next to each other, hugging and kissing. But we've got a lot to dive into today. Of course, we got Lord Dagovere. First off, we want to send our congratulations to Dagovere. 10K subs on YouTube.
Let's go.
Congratulations, brother.
I was like,
Congrats, bro.
Me? I was like, what did I do? Thank you so much,
yes,
guys.
sir.
Yeah.
Congrats, bro.
Let's go. The grind, baby.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Now you gotta ready up.
Yeah, give us a ready up. Give us a ready up.
Oh my. For the first time today, baby, coming from the Dark Temple in the Starlight Podcast, I got Jedi Connor and Daddy Sheev. Let's freaking go. Ready up.
Ready up. And we got a lot to talk about today. Some new stuff, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the dark side of the Force coming out of the Dark Temple. And we're going to start. There was an article with a Variety article that came out basically talking about Starfighter, talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu, basically implying that Disney is not as excited for the Mandalorian and Grogu. They're not as confident with the Mandalorian and Grogu as they are with Starfighter. They think that that'll hit the audiences harder than Mandalorian and Grogu would. They talked a bit about the 36-second Super Bowl spot. Didn't make as many waves as they thought it might. I just kind of want to see your guys' initial reaction because I have some thoughts as well.
It concerns me a bit that they feel that way just because I'm ready for this movie in May. But also I can't say I'm surprised because that Super Bowl spot was just not it. It's not it, pal. It was just not the vibe. Really didn't get people hyped. I mean, the trailer that came out a week later, we talked about this on the pod, boys. All they had to do was have that during the Super Bowl. I think we would have been okay. But yeah, I can say that I agree with Disney in that sense. And also, it does get me a little excited for Starfighter because we've heard way more about that until recently than The Mandalorian, which, is coming out in 3 months. So it seems Disney really likes what, is going on there. And that makes me optimistic. And apparently Ryan Gosling has a stand-up performance, which of course he does.
Of course he does. That's my goat right there. I love Ryan Gosling.
Your little goat. So,
I can't wait to see him in Project Hail Mary.
But yeah, I am excited to see what's in store there, but can't say I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, like I think we all knew that, out with this old regime and with the new, especially with the projects, Kathleen Kennedy stepping down, it's a different era, I feel like, and Starfighter has kind of went beyond this pro-COVID point of production, and I feel like this is going to be a new era of Star Wars here. I told you guys at the start, I was like, I don't know, man. I think they're cooking with this, and we saw that first photo, and I am very excited at the idea of them as in Disney and higher-ups actually having goddamn faith in this franchise again, because what's the point of spending all that goddamn money if you're not going to frickin' get excited about it and hyped about it, So maybe we're going to see hella freaking marketing. I already feel like even with the trailer that we have, that's kind of rekindled everybody's excitement for the Mando and Grogu movie. Even still, I just feel like Starfighter hype is way up here. Yeah, even with the lack of trailers and anything that we've gotten for it, it just seems like everyone's more focused on Starfighter than the Mando and Grogu movie. And I'm glad at least we're hearing that, oh no, maybe we messed up with the Super Bowl spot. You did. There was a huge disconnect there. Now let's learn from our past, please.
Yeah, and you touched on it there, Dagovere. Like, we want Disney to be excited and confident in the franchise because we've seen from a bunch of different things, including The Mandalorian itself, that if you put out a good product for Star Wars, it will do numbers and people will be excited and people will talk about it. Even so with Andor, and that's on a smaller scale compared to The Mandalorian, of course. Like, the product was really good. It wouldn't do as well commercially, but the thing is, everything that we've heard about Starfighter has been cool, has been fun, has been people being excited about it.
Yeah, they're cooking, bro.
They are cooking
everything.
it.
And every fucking drop that they put on us in the TL, I'm just like, holy shit, baby. When?
Yeah, we've gotten like 2 photos from set, and we've gotten like Sean Levy talking about it, and we got a little bit of a story of like Tom Cruise like directing a fight scene, and we hear that Ryan Gosling's gonna have a generational Star Wars performance. Like any of that stuff, we heard nothing for the Mandalorian. It's peak, like it's peak cinema. We'll take it.
That's a lot better than some Tauntauns and some knockoff Budweiser commercial. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but it's honestly here. To me, it's like they missed the opportunity because that's fine to put that spot in the Super Bowl, but then like at the end, throw like a QR code in there. Be like Mandalorian and Grogu trailer out now.
Exactly.
Throw the QR code and then capitalize.
That's
on
all what you had it done. That's it. That's all I needed. I just needed an extra. Here's the cake, baby. There's the cake. Just put the goddamn cherry
because
on it.
Because we want it. Oh my god, we want it so bad. And
I need it.
Yeah, yeah, and we didn't get it. But like, listen. From the beginning, I've kind of not been as excited for this movie as I should be, probably. And
most of the fandom is like that. You're not alone.
Yeah, and I'm going to really enjoy the movie when we get there, right? But it shouldn't have to take like a trailer after that to get me excited. You know, like we should have Pedro Pascal talking about this movie. We should have anybody who's associated with it. Like there should be like stories coming out of this movie the same way that Starfighter is. And there's nothing. Like no one's really talking about it. Like no one's really talking about it. I don't know if it's just because it's obviously like it's the 4.5 iterations of the Mandalorian and Grogu story right now. So it's 3 seasons of the Mandalorian and a little bit of Book of Boba Fett. So like I don't know. I'm really interested, but like it makes me more hyped for Starfighter now.
Yeah, if they like it, then it might be really good. I mean, that was already kind of my vibe from what we've been reading, and we even just get like one photo. I remember us talking about the photo with black and white with them at the Starfighter.
Aura.
We were like, let's
Aura.
go! Just straight aura. So if a photo could be that good, and all these reports are very positive, that's a very good sign that this is going to be a great film next year.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And the next topic we're going to talk about here is Sam Witwer, Maul Shadow Lord. There was an article or an interview with Sam Witwer that talked about Maul in Maul Shadow Lord, and the quote that came out is basically like Sam Witwer saying that Maul hates the Empire more than the Jedi in Maul Shadow Lord. The quote is, now he's looking at the galaxy going, boy, we could sure use a Jedi Knight or two. At least with the Jedi, you knew where they stood. Oh, how the turntables.
Yeah, I feel bad for Maul, but at the same time, too, he really did not have a lot of choice until the very end. And even still, it's just like he's already been manipulated and corrupted so much. It's just a little too late, big dog.
Yeah, and that makes sense to that quote makes sense to me because he's asking a Jedi for help before Order 66. He's like, yo, let's team up. And whether or not Maul was going to, he was definitely going to take advantage of Ahsoka and betray her.
Oh, 1,000%.
But at that point, he's like, I have nobody else that can help me try to conquer the Sith and conquer Sidious. So we're going to have to go with this rogue Jedi, Ahsoka, who is kind of in that gray area where I can use to manipulate my story and her story because we were both, condemned by the organizations that we were a part of and cast away. Obviously, it didn't work, but that's an angle that we've already seen from Maul, so it's cool to get that expedited.
Yeah, I can't say I'm surprised by, like you said, to touch on what you said, Connor, that Maul feels that way. Because, the Sith ruined this guy's whole life and used him as a weapon. As he said in Rebels, I will quote this right now, word for word, because it's one of my favorite monologues from Maul. When Ezra's like, so you're a Sith! Exactly how he said it. The Sith ripped me from my mother's arms, used me as a weapon, murdered my brother, and then cast me aside. That's such a good monologue, but he's been completely manipulated and used by the Sith, so obviously I'm not surprised that Witwer, the voice actor of Maul, is saying, like, yeah, dude, he completely hates the Sith, and especially Sidious, so it seems like in the show he's going to do everything he can to, cause some problems for the Empire.
Yeah, Yeah, I think what's Connor brought up a point about betraying Ahsoka, and I think actually, I don't think he would have betrayed Ahsoka because it looks like he's been humbled so much and brought down to this level that he was doing this whole entire scheme to unite himself with Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's his like arch nemesis, you know. So I think that's what's so intriguing about Maul, is that he has this perception of his life, you know, that he's going to keep suffering and keep suffering and suffering, but the suffering is ultimately going to get him to the point where he needs to be, you know. And I just think as the years go on and these projects go on with this character with Maul, dude, he's already was one of the most fleshed out characters, but now it's like even more this whole ascension into another level of depth for this character to the point where he's like, shit, maybe we shouldn't have killed those damn Jedi. Damn, man, I could use one of them right now, which is crazy work, bro.
Right? He is the Sisyphus. He's the Sisyphus of Star Wars.
Yes,
he keeps rolling. That's the term. He keeps rolling the ball up the hill, only for it to fall on him every single time.
Keeps stepping on Legos every day.
Exactly.
Jesus.
And he has gotten so close. He literally was a Sith apprentice. Like, he's the next in line for the Sith. Obviously, Palpatine is the goat of the Sith, so he was never going to let that happen. But then he gets so close to killing Anakin and Kenobi to where he wants to get to, and he's so close to getting Ahsoka to team up with him, and he's so close to, you know, getting Ezra as his apprentice, and he's so close to everything. He almost kills Kenobi. Yeah, and he is the most tragic character in Star Wars, maybe outside of Anakin.
Yeah.
Sure.
I love it.
At least Anakin in the end kind of gets a little redeemed. You know, Maul just kind of suffers and then, you know, just dies. I guess he has a little piece at the end when, you know, Obi-Wan kind of tells him that Luke is like gonna avenge them.
But he's still talking about revenge. Like, it's still deeply seated in him, even with his last dying words.
It's all he knew, big dog. Yeah. That's it. That's all he knows, man. And we were talking about abuse victims before. It's just like that was his reality, man. I mean, this kid opens his eyes and he sees Darth Sidious. So what is he supposed to think? It ain't all sunshine and butterflies, bro. It's acolytes and Sith tattoos and slavery and suffering, you know. So it's so sad because like I love Maul as a character, but I also feel like that there's so many movie-only Star Wars fans that didn't get to see that gorgeousness that Rebels had given us, and it sucks because they're never going to see it, you know, because it's a cartoon, whatever, you know. But Maul Shadow Lord, baby, looks like a different class of animation, and I'm really hoping that we could bring in movie-only fans to see like what Star Wars animation can really do, because there's going to be some story in here, and it seems like what we talked about before. We talked about Star Wars archives and the George Lucas's sequel trilogy ideas using Talon and Maul and the crime syndicates. So I wonder how much of that is going to be like implemented into this series, and that's what I'm really excited for. And every time Sam Witwer opens his mouth about what we're going to hear from Maul, I'm just like, damn, baby. Yeah. Damn. I need like 20 episodes a season of this, man. Jeez, dude. Because we ain't getting Solo too.
Do you think more people will watch Maul Shadow Lord as opposed to like Rebels? Do you think
do you
think it'll pull in a bigger audience?
For sure.
Yes, absolutely. No, go on, Johnny. I'll shut up.
No, it's good, dog. I was just going to say, I mean, Maul's a very well-known character in Star Wars, so even people that really are movie-only will be intrigued by that title because they know Darth Maul. Like, it's just Rebels. It's like, oh, it's like these characters that I don't know. People know Darth Maul, and he is a badass with the double-bladed lightsaber. Like, I'm a movie-only fan. I'm like, oh, this dude, double-bladed lightsaber, was sick as fuck. And, oh, he got chopped in half. How is he alive? It'll intrigue people. So I definitely think this animated show compared to others is going to have a good turnout.
Yeah, you know, and maybe it'll freaking send a message to people who don't understand how characters can come back to life in Star Wars. It's crazy. You know, I don't know what I'm talking about.
All roads lead.
It makes sense. I don't get it.
All roads lead to the hunt for Ben Solo.
Sorry, guys. Trauma dumping on you every podcast now. So but yes, you're exactly right. Because when you see a Clone Wars and you see someone like Ahsoka, and I'm a movie-only fan, I don't give a shit about that. I do, obviously. I'm just talking about the casual mind, the casual set. And I see something like Star Wars Rebels or Star Wars Visions or Star Wars Resistance or the Bad Batch. I don't know these people, you know, but I know who Maul is. I know who Maul is. Maul is a bad man, and I want to see that boy do some Sith things in this show. Sheesh. Yeah. Yes, of course. I don't watch cartoons, but I may watch this. You know, that would be my mindset.
Yeah, that's true. People sleep on the Bad Batch. You mentioned the Bad Batch. That may be like top 2 animated shows for me. Really, like
Hell yeah,
it's such a good representation of like the Empire and the transition. I absolutely love that show. Just wanted to give a little shout out to the Bad Batch here. But yeah, I think Maul Shadow Lord has the potential to be like very transformative for the future of Star Wars animation. And I know we're always talking about 2D animation. We're talking about Star Wars Visions, but like the bread and butter, especially for now, the co-president of the company is this 3D animated.
He's an animator.
He's an animator.
Probably get more animation. Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm not complaining about. The stories we can get way more stories in animation. We can get so many cool different things as opposed to live action. But yeah, I think Maul's going to be fantastic in that show, and we know that Sam Witwer is locked in, and he's talking. He's been yapping about it, right? Like we've been getting all of his thoughts on there. So I think it's a slam dunk for this new regime. Which
see y'all April 6th.
Yeah, for real.
It's already circled on my calendar.
Yeah,
soon, guys.
It's so soon. Yeah,
a month.
I'm so hyped. All right.
Better start getting in shape now, baby.
Yeah, for real. I'm about to be pumping out the content. I got to get back in. There's been a hiatus of Star Wars content to talk about.
Yeah, so. I already got that video. Darth Maul survived? You know? How did Darth Maul come back alive? What you missed?
Hey, settle down. All right? You're sounding a little bit like Jedi Connor out here in the beginning of his videos. All right? Let's settle down. All right? You have to make content for the platform, all right? We love TikTok over here. Shout out to Starlight Pod on TikTok. Shout out Jedi.Connor on TikTok, all right?
Yeah, give him a follow.
We love it.
But yeah, you're going to have comments on that video, Connor. They're going to be like, Darth Maul can't be alive. He got cut in half.
Here's the thing.
Wrong.
I think 90% of people that watch Star Wars know that he's alive. I really do think.
Like, I wouldn't say it's that
anybody
high.
who dwells on the internet, has to see a clip of him being alive.
Casual fans have no clue.
I don't know. I feel like I disagree.
I was in Dollar Store in South Florida after I saw Solo 2. And I had so many people that came up to me because I had a Star Wars show. Did you see the new Solo? Did you know Maul was alive? And I was like, yeah, buddy, he's been back since freaking 2008, 2009. Like, George Lucas brought him back. Yeah, but that's a cartoon. I don't watch that shit. Well, I'm sorry, but, you know, the creator made that, so what the fuck are we doing, guys? You know? I understand, I get it, but, like, yes, Connor, I would say that less than 60% of Star Wars fans understand that Maul is back.
Yeah,
and has been back. More 60 to 50 than 90. Yeah, it's like just a little high, but
yeah.
I guess that's just what happens when you bring it back in animation. Because even though I love Clone Wars, and I know we all love Clone Wars here in that animation, it just doesn't always intrigue people as
it doesn't,
as a film does. I know a lot of people that are very anti-cartoon, so
but even people,
I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, but even people are like anti the one-offs that they were doing, like Rogue One and Solo, you know.
Wow.
And mind you, I was living in South Florida at the time, so that was a very cliquey, I'll go with the flow. Oh, is someone watching that? Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Let's talk about that for a week, That's the type of culture that was down there, and they would go and they didn't see Rogue One or anything like that, and they're like, oh wow, yeah, this is the first Star Wars movie I've seen in a while. Oh, interesting. Wait, isn't that the guy that got chopped in half? And I was like, yeah, buddy, that's the guy that got chopped in half. Yeah, I think that's majority of people that are movie only. So that's the way that they perceive the franchise.
Yeah, they wouldn't know. Sucks for them.
Normies, dude. Normies.
It's fine. I mean, like you love the franchise in your own way. I wouldn't necessarily classify them as hardcore, but I think everybody loves the franchise in their own way, and they're entitled to that. Does it trick me the fuck out? Yeah, of course it does, But at the end of the day, bro, it's, I look at the shit I got behind me. Don't do this, guys, So
We invite that.
Yeah.
We invite that here. Yeah. So I agree. I think Maul Shadow Lord is going to be gas. Wanted to, honestly, moving along with that dark side theme, topic for today. Made a couple of videos about the dark side and people using the dark side, and specifically like the Jedi Order and talking about the dark side. And a lot of people love talking about how the Jedi can flow back and forth between the dark side and Mace Windu, is a gray Jedi, and all of these different things. So I kind of just want to open up the forum, and we can obviously like riff off of each other, and Dagovere is about to lock in.
Yeah. I'll let him cook here first.
Where's my pocket protector?
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on the Jedi Order's view of the dark side, and how we've seen Jedi in canon use the dark side? And obviously some people have fallen, some people have not, but kind of want to just open that up for discussion.
You got it, 10K. You start us off.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. That's a loaded question, because I feel like depending on how you absorb the franchise, whether it's movie only or expanded universe, or you go deeper into like the source books and everything like that, there's so many different variants and philosophies that are kind of like extended upon from George Lucas. I like to just take the regular stuff, the regular movie stuff, because I just feel like, what's the point of not following the rules, or following the rules if we're not going to listen to what the creator says? And what the creator says, what does he say, guys? Dark side is a drug. The more you tap into it, no matter how little or how much, it is a drug. You get consumed and eventually corrupted. That to me is like the be all of literal Star Wars. Like there's commandments, and it's like the Force connects to every living thing, and the dark side is cancer. The dark side is drug. That's to me, like, those are untouchables, And there's a lot of people out there that love the idea of waning and tipping into, but like, dude, like if you're doing a drug, you're gonna become addicted, And so
Anakin.
Exactly. And that's the biggest thing for me, is like, if the literal son of the Force becomes addicted to the dark side, becomes corrupted by the dark side, why should anybody else have any type of immunity to this shit? And I think that's the entire point of his story, is that you see one of the most powerful individuals in all of Star Wars, in all of creation of the Star Wars universe, go down this path, cannot repel the dark side at all, and is ultimately destroyed by his own choices. And that's the whole the point of that, is the power of choice. Yep. And so there's a lot of stuff, Connor, that I also wanted to talk about, that people were talking about, because I love the idea of Return of the Jedi and Luke Skywalker potentially to the dark side, because what happens in that movie? He taps into the dark side
a bunch
to
of
defeat
times.
Darth Vader. Yes, not just once.
He taps in the first time we see Luke Skywalker, but he's dressed in all black robes.
Yes.
Subconsciously, you're already wondering, like, oh, like, what's happening? Luke Skywalker in the first movie is in all white, right? He's total goodness. Then we see him in Empire Strikes Back. He's wearing gray, right? When he's going up against Darth Vader, he's got his gray
A great
suit.
Jedi?
Not a gray Jedi. But then we see him in Return of the Jedi, and he's in all black. The whole movie is in all black. And you see him force choke Gamorrean guards to start. Now, if you're watching that, you're like, what the hell is going on? Because
I am so glad you brought that up.
Yes,
Say that again.
Because
say that again.
He force chokes Gamorrean guards. He walks into Jabba's palace and force chokes them unconscious.
And you know what's crazy is that there's the deleted scene of Luke Skywalker building his lightsaber. In that scene, Darth Vader is in his meditation center, and he's trying to tell Luke, join me, join the dark side. And moments later, he force chokes a Gamorrean guard. And there's so many fans that are like, no, he was doing this, he was doing that, buddy. He may not have killed that Gamorrean guard, but he still force choked him. That the only time anyone is using that ability is literally Darth Vader, and he's killing people with it. So
Or
is it
choking
not?
Rex
Is it
over.
not dark side? Bro, it's dark sided, bro. It's
It is
it's
dark-sided.
it's literal dark sided.
It's
to me.
literally
Like it's
dark side.
yeah, Luke is slowly getting to that point because
Yeah,
you guys don't understand too.
He's closer and closer in that movie, and then
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah.
ultimatum.
Exactly.
of the
And
film, yeah.
it's like we're forgetting about what The Empire Strikes Back establishes. This is the first time Luke ends up going back to Dagobah and talking to Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda for the first time in like over a year because he feels betrayed that
Yeah.
they kept the whole secret that they were training him to kill his father.
Which is so valid. Because
Yeah.
the person that he trusts the most in the world, Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
At that point, he has nobody else. His parents are dead, right?
No.
His everything is, he doesn't know anything that's going on now. This wizard comes in and he tells him, like, hey, like, follow me, like, use the Force, like, you have the Force.
I knew your father.
I know your
bro.
father, he's dead. I knew him, right?
Yeah.
I know him. He's gaslighting the shit out of him. And even
Yeah.
in Return of the Jedi, when we see him back on Dagobah, he says, oh, well, from a certain point of view.
From a certain
He's
point
still
of view, I didn't
gaslighting
lie.
him. He is still gaslighting him. He's still trying to
crazy,
spin it,
dude.
which is absolutely insane. And Yoda has a lot to blame too, because Yoda knows too and doesn't say anything, right? He doesn't say anything to the person who's supposed to save them all, and that's it. It's crazy. It really is crazy to do that.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, and then of course we have, in my opinion, both continuities for both Legends and new canon. Now you have Luke taps into the dark side because he tries to kill the Emperor. You know, that's in the movie. That is not a lightsaber trait, guys. He tries to kill the Emperor, and the only reason why he does it is because Darth Vader saves him, and also saves Luke, in my opinion, from going down that path because he stops his lightsaber. And the second time is when Vader, threatens Leia, and then that's when Luke goes ham with that, and that's in the Return of the Jedi novelization.
And he's been inching closer and closer the whole movie. Like even on Jabba's barge, right? We see him on the sail barge. He's killing everybody. He's not like Jedi are supposed to be. Not only for, Yoda says, only for defense, not for attack. Mm-hmm. Luke is attacking everybody on that ship, right? Just to save his friends.
Yeah. And the way he's talking to Jabba as well, he's giving him these alternatives. You better do this, Jabba.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, he literally threatens to kill him at his own palace. Yeah.
Yeah, and people forget about that because like they have this like shining vision of Luke Skywalker who saves the galaxy and saves everything, but like, dude, he could have turned to the dark side right there and become the Emperor's apprentice. He could have like if he strikes down the Emperor, like I am 99% sure from what I understand that he is going to do the same thing that he's trying to do to Rey, where he's trying to like take over his body, basically, like the same thing that he's doing with Rey. In my headcanon, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's kind of what I imagine that he's trying to do. And Darth Vader,
I just think that he's trying to turn Luke and replace Vader, because in Revenge of the Sith, I always believed that was the whole point of when you took this White Knight and you made him a soldier of darkness, and you became more powerful because of it. So why not do that to the next A New Hope, the next chosen one? And so he's just, and George also explains in the behind the scenes, like, Palpatine's on a 9, he's going to 11. If he turns Luke to the dark side, he's a fucking god, So that's how I've always envisioned it. But yeah, dude, I know you were talking about some Last Jedi shit when you were saying that stuff. I have other criticisms about that because I don't think that's the same thing. But I will say, in that moment, in Return of the Jedi alone, yes, Luke is very dangerously so close to the trick of the dark side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's something that not many people can like use the dark side and then consistently use the dark. Like we saw Rey accidentally use the dark side, right? Like she cowers away from it, right? Mm-hmm. We've seen Jedi like Quinlan Vos fully turn to the dark side within like a few days, literally like within like a few days or a few weeks, right? Like he gets captured by Dooku, tortured, he turns to the dark side and becomes literally an acolyte of Dooku, right? He becomes basically Ventress at that point. Mm-hmm. It's hard. It's hard to resist the dark side and the temptation to become more powerful. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah. And we talked earlier, Anakin also couldn't resist it, but his was a little slower, where like it took a couple years, but
episode 2. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but still,
that's exactly what it is.
It's part grooming, but he also did things, and I remember in the Clone Wars specifically, like he's force choking Pong Krell, and when that it plays like that Imperial March when like he like goes in there and he's mad. Um, that from the Clone Wars when he like stabs that guy in the back when he threatens to blow up the ship.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then when he
the
force
kid.
chokes, Anakin. What? He was gonna blow up the ship. Like what? Really?
Yeah.
And then when he force chokes Rush Clovis,
Yes.
when he's about to kiss Padme, like the dark
I thought
side
that
just
was
kept
valid.
continued. well, yes, all my homies hate Rush Clovis, but the point is like, even though he's being groomed, like the dark side was still like slowly growing in him and gaining in him until it eventually just totally consumed him in Revenge of the Sith. But even he couldn't resist it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'd say honestly, the Clone Wars expedited his process because the Jedi got away with a lot of stuff in the war because they had to like literally fight a war, right? Like Anakin stabs that guy in the back. Like it's the Clone Wars. Like he's a teenager starting to go to a war, and like obviously he's fighting against droids a lot of the times, but like sometimes he's not, right? Like sometimes it's just getting in that mindset and being around so much death and destruction, it clouds your judgment. Like the Jedi were so clouded because of the war and because of the fact that they were on top of a Sith shrine. Like that in and of itself is kind of crazy. Like that the Jedi built their temple on top of a Sith shrine.
How they not know?
No, they did know. Like they did it on purpose.
I guess I didn't think. Oh, it's gonna be like a what do you call that? Like a I don't want to say VPN, but it's gonna be like some kind of blocker where they can't like tap into the Force. But Connor, you talk about Anakin got me thinking of another funny moment from the Clone Wars. Do you remember when he confronts Admiral Trench and he's like, "Dooku will kill me," and Anakin's like, "You think I won't, bro?" And he's like, "You're a Jedi," and it just like chops off his robot arm. It's like he says something along the lines of like, I don't have such weaknesses. Like, damn.
But that's very telling too. It's funny, but it's also like very telling.
That's what I'm saying.
To
It's
where
very
he's
telling.
at in his mindset.
Keeps falling more and more to the dark side.
That's the
So many
hero of
times.
the Republic, boys.
Yeah, it is.
That's the hero of the Republic doing his work, man.
He's literally a
dirty.
superstar in the Republic. In the beginning of the Revenge of the Sith novel, they talk about how him and Obi-Wan are the darlings of the capital and like the Korra and Coruscant.
Literally a war hero.
He is like everybody knows about Anakin and Obi-Wan. They are like the dynamic duo. Like they're talking about it on talk shows. It's kind of crazy that like because they're war heroes, they get that treatment and everybody knows. It's a lot of pressure, dude. Like it's a lot of pressure to be under, and everybody knows who you are.
Dude, you bringing up talk shows now? I just think in my head like some like Star Wars talk show, like late night TV. Did you see what Anakin Skywalker did today? He's the GOAT.
I mean, you see it in Andor, right? We see a late night talk show in Andor when there's like tyranny going throughout the galaxy, and they're talking about who's going to be at the celebrity ball. Like, that's
he killed 300 droids, by himself. The GOAT.
Yeah, I need the Michael Irvin of Star Wars to give me the play-by-play of Anakin Skywalker dropping them droids, baby.
There were 1,000 Jedi on Geonosis.
Let's go. Where's my belt? And you just see Michael Irvin whip out the belt and just start hitting the separatist jersey on the side, baby.
There were millions of clones.
I love that shit. Oh my god, dude. Yeah. I mean, at least when we talk about the dark side, I think. Listen, I genuinely believe that there is more to the Force, right, than what we've seen in the movies that's been established. But I think we get really, 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 how can I say, dangerous. We get in dangerous territory when we start thinking that the dark side is something that can be conquered. And I just feel like if we go down this path where all of a sudden people are just using the dark side like it's a freaking box of crayons. What is the point of the original 6 movies? What is the point at all of the entirety of their choices and how the Skywalkers ultimately threw the galaxy into chaos? I'm not saying the Force can't evolve or the Jedi's view cannot detach itself and evolve into something more like we saw with New Jedi Order and Luke Skywalker. And that's why I think it's so important that people read New Jedi Order, is to understand someone like Kip Durin, who is practically a lunatic and a radical that makes his own radicals, and the Jedi code that they create is insane, to the point that they said, hey, you know what? The Force is a tool. You use it. You have a lightsaber. The Force made you a god, so you don't have to think about your actions. Just do it. That does not sound like a Jedi. And when someone tells me this stuff, well, the dark side can do this and that, you can do it. That's what you sound like. You sound like Kip Durin to me. That's not good.
Yeah. And a lot of people in my comments are bringing up Mace Windu, right? Mace Windu.
He's not. He doesn't use the dark side of the Force.
People don't know what Vapad is. Clearly,
no, they do not know.
The way that I describe Vapad, and this is for all my Avatar: The Last Airbender fans, right? I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but
Dagovere's getting a book out.
To me, Vapad
keep going.
is Uncle Iroh using lightning redirection, right? Mace Windu's opponent uses the dark side, right? Has all this dark side energy. And Mace Windu is able to harness that energy and redirect it back at his opponent, right? Correct. But the thing is, with lightning redirection, you can't let it sit. You can't let it sit, or else you'll be destroyed, right? Same thing with the dark side. Mace Windu takes this dark side energy, flows it through his body, puts it back out. It's not his dark side, right? It's not him using the dark side. It's him using his opponent's dark side energy and redirecting it back at them, creating this loop that allows him, to better face opponents that are using the dark side. From what I understand,
actually a great analogy. That's actually a great analogy because I think, and as someone that I guess I'm a pretty hard Last Airbender fan because of Zuko, my boy, and Korra. If you know ball. Because when you see Zuko redirect the light, that's what he does. He redirects it. And he's not using it. He's just sending it back. And the one thing I love, if you guys don't know, get this 2007 Star Wars Jedi vs. Sith Essential Guide, baby. Hey, you're going to call this number right now, and I'll give you a bonus, okay? And it's going to be the knowledge. So the best thing about this is that so many people consistently think that Mace Windu uses the dark side, but he doesn't. Well, but his lightsaber, no, there is no freaking purple meaning of him being the gray Jedi or turning to the dark side. Here's what he does, and it's going to be very interesting, okay? Vapad is more than a fighting style. It is a state of mind, a path that leads through the penumbra of the dark side. I know it's a big word. I've looked it up several times, but what it means is there is a point of light and dark, and he's essentially going up to the doorway of the dark side, and he's stopping right there. So when the dark side of the Force is being sent to him, it's going through him. And all he is doing it is sending right back. He's not channeling it. He's not tapping into it. He's not using it. He is just pushing it back into the opponent. And he will keep doing that as he gives his spirit to the fight. And that's how he is able to fight someone like Darth Sidious and not turn, because he goes literally to the very edge of the light side of the Force and stops. And then what this passage goes on page 113 and 112, is it talks about how he's the only one that can do it, because anyone else that has tried to do it has literally turned to the dark side because they go beyond the point of the penumbra. That is it. He doesn't use the dark side. Please stop.
Thank you.
You got me. Thank you, Dagovere, for that. That was a great breakdown. But now you got me thinking. How could he have ever practiced that before he fought Palpatine?
So the all that goes in there, and it's like people that have passed that down. But the Jedi are like so terrified of Vapad, which is why Mace Windu is like the only person that can do it. And he has a history of apprentices going to the dark side as well. Same thing with Qui-Gon Jinn. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff inside like the Jedi and their abilities that they slowly start to realize are not good for the Jedi Order. There's another one like Maritro, which is Yaddle's ability that can literally stop someone's heart and put them into a coma. And, Yaddle's like, okay, we probably shouldn't do this anymore, because this is actually, like, if you F this up, you're going to kill somebody, And then there's the Force Judgment. Yeah, exactly. And then there's the Force Judgment, which is the light-sided lightning. But even Plo Koon is like, okay, yeah, this is actually getting a little too powerful. We probably shouldn't use this. Okay, it's a dark-sided trait now, So there's a huge debate for so many years about Force abilities and them being just tools instead of like representations of the light side and dark side. But everything has an origin. Everything has a root, and everything has a creator, especially in Star Wars. And I think when people start saying, well, he's using it for justice, it's not actually dark-sided. I think that's a coping mechanism to say, hey, I want to use this power because I think it's pretty cool,
Yeah. And if you use that power enough, you'll fall to the dark side.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm one of those people, bro. I'm one of those people. I think Force Lightning and Force Choke is cool as shit. But I'm going to end up succumbing to it and being a freaking asshole and turning to the dark side, just like Anakin. So,
yeah. And like,
at least I'm self-aware.
Yeah. Self-aware Sith right here. Yeah.
Yeah, also, I'm a Sith boy. I am.
Also, you brought up something funny, how like people always think like purple means that like, it means a certain thing, or like, oh, Windu can use the dark side. Guys, but I'm looking in the camera when I say this. It was literally added because Samuel L. Jackson wanted a purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
There's no other meaning. He literally asked George, can I have a purple lightsaber? And he said, sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything else.
Yeah. Which is so funny because he's telling him, good guys do blue and green, and then bad guys do red. And then he just like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Purple,
yeah, all right.
I can't
Samuel
say no to Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
He literally got
there was a short story, believe it or not, about Mace Windu getting a crystal from with this race of like a crystal people that give him this crystal, and that's what powers his lightsaber. That's why he has a purple lightsaber. But that, even in like Legends, I don't even think that was canon. I could be completely wrong, but I don't remember that being like a legitimate, like, this is a part of the story. But I would actually argue that his crystal, the color of purple, is some of the most rare in all of Star Wars, because there is no true meaning. I would say the only one that really has meaning is the Temple Guards and
yellow
and the Sith, but it's a whole different meaning now.
Yeah.
I feel like in new canon. So.
I'd argue a white lightsaber too is something that's
pure
correct. Yes, a new canon. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the lightsaber crystal lore with canon. I think bleeding a crystal is really cool, like story wise. Like the synthetic crystal, like obviously that's legend stuff, but like I don't see why you couldn't really have both in canon. But I think it means more now when you look at, especially like Kylo Ren, when we see his bleeding and he's cracked his crystal because he couldn't fully bleed it.
Stupid ass.
Yeah, but like like honestly, like but it is like
Vader.
It's a cool.
Vader's is pretty fire.
Yeah, and it's like it's a trial. Obviously, when we get to the acolyte, it's a little bit.
Guys, please. Guys, please. Don't. I don't want to bring it up, but it was in my mind. I was like, guys, please.
Not to like hate on the acolyte or anything, but I'm just even like Jedi Survivor. I think it's worse in Jedi Survivor than it is in the acolyte. Like I think.
I don't know.
To me, it's just like, oh well, I'm jumping out of this tube and now I'm a dark
you could feel his rage though when he did it in Jedi Survivor. I feel like in Acolyte, didn't she like accidentally do it?
No, I mean she's like seething with like.
It. No, she accidentally did it. She had no knowledge of that.
Yeah, that's right. But that's what annoys me the most. Like at least in Survivor, he had some intention of doing it, and you could feel his rage.
Right. So you guys know how I feel about the Acolyte, all right? But I don't mind the idea of accidentally doing it, because if you are connected to the Force and if you are succumbing to the dark side, things are happening, and there is a very potent, amount of emotion and power that are surging through you. So I don't mind the idea of the crystal having exposure to her skin and her touching it and her accidentally, bleeding this crystal. That is not the problem for me. I just can't stand the way it looks. I literally looks like a freaking Kmart lightsaber that changes colors. That is what I don't like.
On the lightsaber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I have the Revan lightsaber behind me, and that one turns from purple to red, and that's what it looks like. It literally looks like it's just becoming something else. I felt like for a $200+ million show, it could have been executed better. But in theory, in the idea, I really don't have an issue with it. I'm fine. But Connor brings up a great point about Jedi Survivor, where your boy, what's his name, Dagon, whatever. Yeah, he comes out of the freaking pod, and this boy is stripping in front of Cal Kestis right there, and I felt like this stuff was like awkwardly intimate with the crystal, which is why I have my own weird view about like how there's an intimate part of the bleeding, or he is like in front of him and doing this, and yeah, I was like, I think this guy needs to close the door, because I thought that was like hella freaking weird that he was doing it right there. Yeah, but you could see how crazy he is from everything. I mean, this guy was like, in my opinion, before he got shoved in this cryo sleep, he was ready to turn to the dark side, and then Cal sets him free, and he's like, all right, pause, unpause, let's go, baby. You know, I'm ready to do this right now.
He opened up a save file.
Yeah,
ready
dude.
to roll.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever. I made this like one TikTok a while back, like eons ago in like 2021, where the Jedi didn't like his color lightsaber, and then he decided to change it into red, you know, like instantly, and then the Jedi freak out. You know, that's how I feel like that was for Cal. He's like, whoa, shit, what are you doing?
Whoa. Wait.
Yeah. That's the wrong color, bro. Like, God, dude.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I do think it's pretty jarring just to see him jump out and then be like, turning to the dark side.
Character Lord. They abandoned me.
Yeah.
All right, red time.
Dude, I just think it's so funny because Cal is just like, oh my God, a new oh shit, what the fuck? You know, like, that's all happening so fast.
Yeah, right.
And if you have any understanding of the Force, Cal is probably feeling that. And everything that Kyber crystal is going to too. He's like, holy shit, what? Hang on, buddy. You know, like, can we talk first?
Yeah.
Jesus, man. Yeah.
And he said,
that's a wild scene.
Dagon
honestly,
said,
to
swing
me.
first, ask questions last. Like,
oh my God, bro. Dude.
Yeah.
That's just crazy, dude. I think that character is weird, dude, honestly.
Oh, I saw that. I also loved his force arm. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I thought that was really cool.
I don't mind it. Treya in Knights of the Old Republic was levitating 3 lightsabers all around her, so I've always appreciated that. You know, the literal force arm it's whatever. You know, it's a video game. You know.
Yeah, it reminds me of the waterbender in the Red Lotus for Legend of Korra. She's armless.
Yeah. She's a bad woman, dude. Yeah.
Azula's voice actor as well, which I find just funny.
What happened?
It's the same voice actor as Azula.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It is. It is.
I always hear Azula when I hear that character. Man, she was a badass, but just using like the water whips as her arms. It was always
crazy,
cool.
Yeah. Dude. That's insane.
Shout out to Legend of Korra, man. That really is a good show.
Shout out Korra. People hate on it too much. I think it's a great show.
I have my problems with that show too, but I love
obviously
Korra
it's not Avatar and the Last Airbender, but there are some great characters in that show, especially Varric for me, as well as Zahir. I think he's absolutely fantastic characters, especially Zahir.
Yeah, I loved Amon. Like that first season was goated.
Great too. Yeah.
And then you know what happened? The writer's strike, and that's why we got the shit that we did later.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I really like Zahir. I think Zahir, building an antithesis to the White Lotus, and you know, having every single like plan lined up to capture Korra, right? To capture Korra, and he has all of the different elements to teach her when they capture her. And Zahir was going to be Korra's airbending teacher, which is why it's crazy that when he gets airbending, he already knows a lot of the stuff that's going on. He studied airbending culture. He studied airbending like movements. Like he was going to be.
Is that
Korra's
legit? Is that
teacher.
true?
Yeah, it's the only thing that makes sense to me because there's 4 of them, right? And you have to teach all 4 elements. And Zahir knows everything about airbending.
Let's talk about flying.
And
right,
I am so confused. What about Tenzin?
No, the story of the Red Lotus is that they were going to capture Korra. Like they attempted to capture Korra, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I know that part about the Red Lotus, but I thought like in lore, like Zahir was going to be doing that, and then all of a sudden he became more radical. Like I thought this was like context outside the show.
No. From what I understand, right? Like they were.
Yeah, he was going to abduct them, and then they were going to teach her to be like the Antichrist, essentially.
Yeah, he had his squad. They were all, but like there's no airbenders other than Tenzin, but he was going to attempt to teach her airbending
because he knew everything.
Okay, and they had the
Guru
lava
Lahima.
bender. All right.
they had, Earth. They had fire, like
They had Combustion Girl.
Combustion Girl, yeah.
Yeah, combustion girl. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah,
Sounds
Zahir.
crazy.
I think it
Zahir
is
could
really
literally
cool.
fly, so he's such a badass character.
Dude.
Yeah, I love him in
And
season
also-
4 as well. In season 4, when Korra goes to Zahir,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
and-
great way. Yeah, when she goes to that prison and he just floating in the spirit
never
world.
touches the ground.
What
yeah.
a yeah.
Dude, I actually love that part where she's so afraid of PTSD and
Yes,
trauma, and
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love PTSD and trauma, and because I think I don't know if you guys have ever seen Rambo, but I think Rambo is one of the greatest freaking movies of all time because it goes into the whole soldier and PTSD and trauma things. And I really appreciated that Korra had this character arc that brought her back to something that she feared the most, even though she's extremely strong. You know, we all know season 1 Korra is just like the badass, but then like later in the seasons, she becomes just not who I really appreciated the character for, but she is meant to go to Zahir, and she's like, dude, you know, you effed up everything. Not only am I effed up, but you effed up the Earth Kingdom. And Zahir like literally feels like, oh, you know, I'm
Yeah, I
so
heard about
sorry.
her.
I
Yeah.
hear like she's like terrible. I'm so bad.
Yeah.
And I love that. What the hell are we talking about? This is a Star Wars podcast. Anyway, so
keep it rolling.
he's talking like she's like so down in the dumps, and I love this for mentality stuff and confidence. And she's like, you ruined me, and then she's and Zahir is like, dude, like you do not understand that you should have fucking died. You think your powers have limits? I think they're limitless because we should have killed you and you survived.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that was so good, and I'm so annoyed that was only 3 minutes in a single episode of that. Like that's the type of stuff where I really wish the original writers were still on that whole story because damn, I think that there could have been some great stuff for that character. I just wanted season 3 experience Korra with season 1 confidence because I don't think anyone's stopping her. I don't think anyone's stopping her, babe. I don't think anyone
But
is
here's
stopping
the deal,
her.
like I think that's goes into her character. I mean, I'm gonna keep talking about it, but like I think that that's her character is that she starts off as this like cocky, super confident, super able.
I love
She gets
it.
humbled a
And then
bit.
she
I
goes,
think it works.
and then she goes in, and like even throughout that season, like she can't airbend. Like she's supposed to be this goat. She's the
Oh, she's so
prodigy.
bad.
She's the prodigy
Yeah.
of everything. She's bending 3 elements when she's
Yeah.
3, right?
Yeah.
And she's supposed to be she's
I'm the
safe,
Avatar.
right? She's safe in this new reformed White Lotus Avatar program where they're protecting her every single step of the way, and she doesn't really know life outside of this like super privileged like training center. And then she goes out in the real world and she gets her ass kicked like a bunch, like by Amon, right? Like Amon is better than her. Like
I wouldn't say a bunch because Korra is beating people's asses.
right, yeah, like when we first see her.
But when
yeah.
she
Definitely
fights
loses.
the villains,
When it
you know,
means stuff,
she ends
yeah.
up losing. Yeah. Like that's why I loved Amon, and I loved who was the brother? Who was the brother?
Oh, the waterbender.
Yeah, Waterbender brother that also did that stuff.
He was on the council in Republic City.
Connor, you don't
what was
know?
his name?
Damn, Connor.
that,
I was like,
What
we
was
know.
his name?
Didn't you say it earlier?
Yeah. No, I did not.
No. I said Varric earlier. That's not him.
Oh, I'm thinking of
Tarlok.
Unalaq. I'm thinking of Unalaq.
Tarlock. Thank you.
Tarlok, Tarlok and Unalaq. Yeah, so I love that, and like I'm okay, bro. And I just felt like even though she was a badass in just bullying people, she would get her ass kicked too, because she sucked at airbending, and then whenever like something was going down, like she got beat bad, especially with the bloodbending stuff, and then the Amon stuff was like terrifying her too. I just thought she had great flaws, and I would have loved to see her character like just go beyond that because I love her beating everybody's ass, man. I like she was the complete opposite of Aang, and that's why I didn't like Aang when in the beginning when I watched the show.
They're
I didn't.
polar opposites. That's
That's why I was like when I saw this first show, I love Zuko. Zuko is my boy. He's got the past. He's got the scar. I got a scar. You know, like I was like he's my boy. And then Aang was just so peaceful and nice and the pacifist and hella talented and knowledgeable. I'm not that. You know, so I was just like, man, you know, but I like Toph, and then I like Zuko, and then at the end I just felt like, wow, this is amazing. And then Mark Hamill's the goddamn Fire Lord Ozai, so I was like, holy shit, this is peak, baby. Oh my god. So great show. A lot of Star Wars obviously in there, definitely for sure. So
Dave Filoni.
Yeah, and Mark
season
Hamill.
1. Yeah, Mark Hamill.
And Mark Hamill. So yeah, good stuff. I think if you're a Star Wars fan to listen to this stuff, definitely watch Avatar: Last Airbender for sure.
Also, D. Bradley Baker, the voice of the clones,
Yeah.
voices Appa.
Yes,
Appa
he
and
is
Momo.
Appa.
Appa and Momo.
Yes.
That's why Sergeant Appo, Sergeant Appo in season 4 of the Clone Wars, he has a little avatar. They gave him a little
Give him an
arrow on his
yeah.
helmet
That's
because
crazy.
D. Bradley voiced Appa. It was a nice little callback to that.
He's got to be one of the most talented voice actors that I think people don't know. He also is the Gravemind in Halo.
Oh, really?
Which is yes, and he's
I didn't know
he's also the gerbil in Overwatch, which is also crazy. And he actually makes those goddamn gerbil noises. And I didn't know that because
he's got a lot
I
of
play
range.
Overwatch. Yeah, dude. Like he's a real.
You want
voice
to know what's
actor,
crazy?
man.
You want me to read off some of the other stuff that you probably had no idea?
Yeah,
that he
let me
does?
know.
Yeah,
Squilliam Fancy Son, SpongeBob. Bubble Bass,
He's
SpongeBob.
Was that Squidward's rival?
Yes,
Yeah.
Squidward's like
Squilliam.
cousin. Yeah.
No, he
Holy
was the
shit.
fancy guy, right? The fancy squid with the unibrow.
Oh no, he's hot.
Yeah, right?
Wait. No,
That's so funny.
yeah, Squilliam Fancy Son.
Yeah, Squilliam Fancy Son, yeah.
He's Perry the Platypus.
He's Perry the Platypus? That's good.
I don't know that one. Damn.
From Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
All good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many. Oh my goodness, yeah, there's so many roles that he has. Like
I'm looking at this too.
they probably have no idea. He's
Oh, yeah, he's an
Jabba in Star
American
Wars
dad.
Outlaws.
Wow.
He was in Space Jam.
He was in Space Jam?
Allegedly. It says, wait, hold up. Let's see. It says he's Daffy Duck, the Tasmanian Devil, and the Bull.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, apparently he's in Space Jam. That's what I'm
Dude,
looking
Space
at.
Jam is one of my favorite movies.
Let's go. It was one of my favorite as a kid too. I not to go too much of the weeds, but yeah, it was one of my favorite shows.
Damn.
I don't think it's as good now watching it, but at the time it was great.
No, it's still good. I love that movie.
But yeah, D. Bradley Baker, dude, he's a lot of range. Oh, he's in Charlotte's Web.
Yeah,
Oh, he's in Futurama. Oh wow,
This
okay.
man is goated for real. This is actually insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely a selfie one day, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, cool.
What a guy.
We've been grinding through here about an hour. Not sure if we want to leave anybody, leave our thoughts with any of the viewers who are still here.
The dark side is a drug.
Yeah.
You
Stay
wanna
off
eat
the
death
dark
sticks?
side, kids. Stay off dark side. Stay in
Yeah,
school.
get off those death sticks.
Stay in
Go
the
on,
Jedi
really take your
Temple.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, listen, guys. If you are still here with us right now, we love you so much. All right. We want to shout out once again, Lord Dagovere, 10K subs, fam. Congratulations.
Congrats, brother.
Congratulations.
Good stuff.
Thank you, guys.
It's only the
Appreciate
beginning. It's only the beginning.
it. Ooh, okay. I believe.
Let's go, bro.
Thank you, guys.
believe.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Where can they find you? Where can they find you?
Yeah, inside the Dark Temple on Drome and Kass, at Lord Dagovere. Anywhere you see this face yapping about whatever nonsense, I'm just being really loud. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and of course the Starlight Podcast here, baby. Let's go.
Damn right. John Bates, where can they find you?
You can find me TikTok at daddy_Sheev, but also don't forget to check out the Starlight Pod. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere you get your podcasts.
Absolutely. We're almost there at 100 subs on YouTube. If you're listening, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You can find me at Jedi.Connor on everything except for Instagram at Jedi.Connor _ Hey, when we make it big, I'll get rid of that underscore. I'll
You're going to
get
have to
my
pay
account
that
back.
guy.
I'll get my
the
account
jersey
back.
number.
Yep.
Yeah. You're going to have to give him a bag for that.
Yeah, it's hey, we're working on it. But yeah, we appreciate everybody. We'll be here every week. We love you. Deuces.
Deuces.